Welcome to Investors Insights. Our topic today is data hogs and market movers. A lot of information coming out this week, events taking place. So we want to bring you up to date as to how it can impact your portfolio. Bobby, let's start off with you because you're talking about earnings and all the information, the earnings announcements that are coming out this week. Big week.
Yeah, big week ahead. Biggest week of earnings season is here. Then also on Friday, the potential market mover could be the GDP report. So economists are saying the GDP report could come out below first quarter, come out 2.1%. It was 3.1% first quarter. But there could be some bright spots we want to look at here, and that could be consumer spending really picking up from the first quarter.
Yeah, and consumer spending, I mean, we had a really weak first quarter. It's no lie. In June, we had a rise of 0.4%. You know, that kind of closed the second quarter, made it really strong. So we're starting to see consumer confidence going into this big earnings week. It's going to be surprising and kind of something to keep an eye on as we get through this week and leading up to GDP on Friday.
Yeah, so we talk about consumer spending all the time because that's 70% of our economy. So we bring it up all the time. So going by the GDP report, so we expect a surge in consumer spending. But the problem is we can see an uptick in trade deficit, lower inventories, lower business spending, and then the manufacturing sector is showing a lot of weakness because of the trade war. So a big number, and the Fed is going to be watching that number come out on Friday, and the Fed is the market mover.
Okay, well, the Fed's been the big topic,
Yep.
Especially this summer about possibly lowering interest rates. But actually, you had a great point in our debates and discussions this morning about the rest of the world and central banks. So talk about that.
They're lowering it too, much like it was synchronized up back in 2008 when they all did it at once. Our Fed, obviously, we're focusing on. But Greg's exactly right. A lot of central banks around the world have already done it this year and 3 last week. So if you look at it, Australia has already cut twice. New Zealand has, India has, now that's a large economy. We'll talk about that previously on the vlog. Malaysia, the Philippines, and just last week, South Korea, another major economy, Indonesia, and South Africa. So this is syncing up in terms of rate cut, including our own, much like it did in 2008. It hadn't been like that since the financial crisis.
No, you're absolutely right. And then the other factor that's taking place here in the United States, which could relate to deregulation, is what's happening in the Department of Labor. And you talked about how we could possibly see interest rates go lower, and then also a new appointee at the Department of Labor.
Exactly. Gene Scalia, who's the son of the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, who has a tremendous reputation in keeping regulations reasonable. So if he ends up being confirmed to be Secretary of Labor, that's good for business and good for markets, we think.
Very much. So that combination can be very, very positive. Yes. But the world continues to revolve here, and we talked about interest rates and central banks, but there's something else taking place in terms of Brexit that you really pointed out.
Yeah, this week the Conservative Party over in the UK will announce their new leader, and that person will become the Prime Minister. And for all intents and purposes, with how much time is left between now and when a hard Brexit has to happen, the hard deadline, there's no time for a new Prime Minister to be elected. So this is the Prime Minister that will take England out of the European Union. And so that makes this individual much more important. I bet over the next few months, you may not know Boris Johnson, who's likely to be the new prime minister. You may not have heard his name, but I bet over the next few months he becomes a household name because it is such an important transition that the United Kingdom leaves the European Union, how smooth that is or how rough that is. And Boris is known as a hardline Brexit individual. So it says a lot that he becomes the new prime minister. He also has a very big personality to match some big personalities globally, I think politically. So he will become the face of the UK for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and could have an impact not only in terms of Great Britain, but we could also start to see the European Union unraveled, or everybody's watching to see how that happens.
Yeah, how smooth this exit goes and how well Britain does after the fact. Maybe some trade deals with other countries like the United States could point out that maybe leaving the European Union isn't the end of times as it was projected to be. And so how smooth this goes could start the beginning of the end, maybe, of the European Union.
Yeah, so we'll be watching all of this closely as it comes together. It's been a very eventful summer. We hope you continue to enjoy your summer, continue following us on our different social media outlets as well as watching this vlog. And we appreciate the fact that you continue to have interaction with us with questions, comments, feedback from these dialogues, as well as sharing it with others. We hope you have a great week. We're going to watch these details unfold and watch how it could impact your portfolio. Thanks.